Hello guys, and welcome to today's video lesson where I'm going to be talking about some ways we can get more out of our scales. Specifically, I've got 3 points here which are just all about making your scales more musical. Now, scales are not the most interesting things to listen to, so why do we want to make them more musical? Well, the reason is, if you can play your scales expressively, that's going to transfer to your actual performances and your playing in general. So it can be quite difficult to practice to play expressively in a piece of music because there's a lot to think about. So the scales are a great place to start. All right, so on to point number 1, dynamics. So when we talk about dynamics just refer to how loud or how quiet we play the notes. So I'm going to play a scale, and I'll play it softly. This is piano. Piano literally means softly. Okay, that's softly. And now I'll play forte, that means loud. All right, so that's loud and soft. Now, when we're playing a piece of music, yes, sometimes you want the dynamics to be static, but to make your piece sound more organic and human, you definitely want to have a little bit of variety in there. Not all the time, there's always exceptions, but even when music just says piano, there's still going to be some notes, like maybe the melody notes probably, that want to be a little bit louder than the accompanying notes. So I'm going to play that scale again, and I'm going to start soft. I'm going to get louder as I go up, and then I'm going to get quiet again as I come down. All right, so that is a standard crescendo and then diminuendo on the way down. All right. That is just going to add a lot to the kind of mood and ambience of your piece. You want the right kind of energy in your piece. So if it's something like a lullaby, that probably wants to be piano. And if it's something like a fanfare, that's going to want to be forte. It wants to be loud. So you can use your dynamics to put the right kind of energy into the music. And you can also use the dynamics to bring out specific notes. Like, I don't know, let's say I want to play C, E, and G louder than the other notes. Okay, it's actually quite a fiddly exercise. What's that game where you do like head, shoulder, knees, and toes, but then you start doing it and you take out different words? It's like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. It reminds me of that, just kind of having some things loud and leaving some things quiet. Quite fiddly, so try it out. It'll help a lot in your playing. Let's move on to number 2. Articulation. So articulation, super significant. Articulation refers to how the notes are played, basically. So are they going to be smooth? Or are they going to be staccato, detached? Again, that's something that there's as smooth as possible, and then there's as staccato as possible, and then there's everywhere in between. And you kind of have to make a judgment call as a musician what the articulation should be for each piece of music. And every musician is going to do things a little bit differently. If you take 2 concert pianists and listen to them play the same piece of music, you can really tell. You know, there's very often huge variety in the articulation they choose to have. All right. So let's try putting dynamics and articulation together. So I tell you what, this time I'll start smooth and soft, and then I'll get louder and more staccato towards the top, and then reverse it on the way down. Similar to what I did before. Okay, okay, that wasn't the cleanest, that could be a bit cleaner. This is why we practice. Do a few reps, that'd be better. But so that's articulation. On to number 3. Number 3 is rubato. And rubato means free with the time. And this is actually huge. I mentioned earlier making your playing sound more human, more organic, and this has to be one of the biggest things by far, because if you listen to a computer play something, if you have Sibelius or Noteflight or whatever on your computer and you get it to play something, the timing will be so perfect, like inhumanly perfect. And that's actually not the most interesting way to play things at all. If you put on a metronome while you listen to a professional performance of something, the professional performance never sticks to the metronome because they are constantly, slightly speeding up, slightly slowing down. As I said, always exceptions. There's, plenty of Baroque music out there where you do not want to mess with the timing, but maybe even then, maybe a tiny amount. Rubato. Simply speeding up and slowing down where you feel like it's appropriate. So let's do. I'll do a different scale. Let's do A minor, easy one. I'll start slow and then I'll speed up and then I'll slow down again. All right, so that was, you can be quite extreme with it. Oftentimes it will be more subtle. Okay, so that is rubato. Let me just try to do all of those together. Really good practice. Okay, so we've got dynamics, articulation, and rubato. If I put them all together, I'll do A minor again. So we'll start quiet, we'll start smooth, we'll start slow, and then we'll get louder, faster, and more staccato as we go up. And then on the way down, I'll reverse it. And hopefully it's not a disaster. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, adding these 3 things, it adds a lot to think about. I think you'll find when you play a proper piece of music, you might find yourself kind of led by the melody and stuff. So sometimes the melody is rising and you'll just feel like you want to maybe get a bit louder and a bit slower. You'll just feel it. And if you don't feel it, it's probably just because you're having to think about too many other things. That's all. All right, so there we go. Just to recap, that is dynamics, loud and soft playing, articulation, is it smooth or is it detached, and rubato, how slow or fast is it? All right, that brings me to the end of this lesson. If you'd like to give me some moral support, feel free to hit the like button. If not, that's fine too. And I will see you in the next one.